Good morning, students. So today we will be starting with the chapter atomic structure. Well, student, atom, it is a part of matter. And what is matter? Matter is what? Anything that occupies space and has a mass, that is said to be a matter. Now student, the question arises how the idea of atoms emerged. So the Indian philosopher in the 6th century BC, Indian philosopher in 6th century BC, Indian philosopher Maharishi Kannad. Maharishi Kannad in 6th century BC, he put forward his ideas and he said that matter is made up of very small particles called Parmanu. Matter is made up of very small particles called Parmanu. And in the Sanskrit, the word Param means ultimate, where Anu means particle. Right. So it means what? It is an ultimate particle. Then in the 5th century BC, Greek philosophers, 5th century BC, Greek philosophers, Democritus and Leucippus, they also came up with the similar ideas that on dividing a piece of substance, we get a particle that could not be further divided, and they gave a name that is termed as atomos. In the Greek, the word atomos means indivisible. It means indivisible. That is, the atom, it cannot be divided further. But however, boys, the ideas, the concept of the atom given by Maharishi Kannad and Democritus, they remain forgotten for more than 2000 years. But in 1803, John Dalton, an English chemist, he gave an atomic theory. John Dalton gave an atomic theory named as John Dalton's atomic theory in year of 1803. Now we will learn what are the postulates of John Dalton's theory. Boys, the postulates of John Dalton's atomic theory, the first postulate of John Dalton's atomic theory is that an element is made up of small particles called atoms. Elements made up of small particles called atoms. Secondly, atoms are indivisible. Third, atoms of the same element have same mass. Atoms of same element have same mass, similar mass, okay? And atoms of different elements have different mass. Different elements have different weights. Then he said that the atoms of the element take part in chemical reaction. Atoms take part in chemical reactions. Then number 5, he said that the atoms of an element, they combine in a simple numerical ratio with those of the other elements to form a compound. Okay? Atoms of element, they combine with the atom of other element to form in a simple numerical ratio to form a compound. Okay. Now boys, after that in the 19th century, it has been proved that atom can be divided. In 19th century, it has been proved that atom can be divided, and it is divided into three subparticles, that is known as electrons, protons and neutrons. So very first we will learn about the electrons, the discovery of electrons. Students, in 1879, William Crookes. In 1879, William Crookes, a British chemist, he carried out a study in a glass tube. That glass tube is known as discharge tube. William Crookes, he had carried a study in a glass tube known as a discharge tube, in which two metal rods were placed. Like this, two metal rods were placed. Right. One was attached to the negative terminal, one was attached to the positive terminal. These are the two glass electrodes, right? One it was attached to the negative terminal, one it was attached to the positive terminal, and the one which is attached to the negative terminal, that was known as cathode, and the one which was attached to the positive terminal, it was known as anode. And one, there was a vacuum pump also attached. A vacuum pump was attached, right? This pump was only to reduce the pressure of the gas. Now boys, when a high voltage was applied, the glass began to glow, and Crookes, he observed that the beam of the tube was deflected. Means some rays, they were emerging from the cathode, from the negative terminal. Some rays were coming from the cathode, and he said that these rays which were emerging from the cathode, called them as a cathode rays. Right. So like this, cathode rays were discovered. However, students, the properties, the characteristics of these cathode rays were further studied by J.J. Thomson. Right? So what are the characteristics of cathode rays that we are going to learn now? Now we will learn the characteristics of cathode rays. The first characteristic is that cathode rays travel in a straight line. So what it is? The cathode rays, they travel in a straight line. How this has been observed? Students, when an object it is placed in the path of cathode rays, then we have seen a shadow of the object falls on the wall just opposite to the cathode. So a shadow can be formed only when they travel in the straight lines. Secondly, cathode rays are the stream of particles. Now this, how can it be proved? A light paddle wheel, it was placed in the path of the cathode ray. What happened? It will start rotating. So this shows that some particles, they strike the plates of the wheel. Thirdly, the particles constituting cathode rays are negatively charged. This is proved by the fact that cathode rays, they bend towards the positive plate in an electric field. Fine. After that, we will learn number 4th. Now we will learn the 4th characteristic of the cathode rays, that is the particles constituting cathode rays all alike, means same. Why? Because they do not change with the gas, the electrodes and the kind of the glass used for making the tube. Right? So students, Sir J.J. Thomson, he concluded that the particles constituting cathode rays are universal constituent of all atoms, and these particles were named as electrons in the year 1897. Now students, we will learn about the discovery of the protons. Now students, the protons, they were discovered by Goldstein. Okay, electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson, and the proton, it is being discovered by the Goldstein. Students, Goldstein, he noticed another set of rays. They were traveling in the direction just opposite to the cathode rays. That is from anode to cathode. That is from anode to cathode. That he saw some of the rays. They were traveling from in the direction just opposite to the cathode rays. When a perforated cathode is used. Now boys, what is perforated? Perforated cathode means the cathode which was having some holes in it. Okay. So when a perforated cathode was used in the above discharge tube, he called these rays as a canal rays. He called it as a canal rays or anode rays. Right. As the rays, they were passing through the holes, that is why it is termed as canal rays. And these rays were named as a positive rays or the anode rays. Why they were being called as canal rays? Because they have been passed through the holes. That is why also known as canal rays. Fine. Now boys, we will learn about the properties of the protons. Now students, we will learn the characteristics of anode rays. Students, the characteristics of anode rays, they were found by carrying out the experiments, and it was being found similar with the cathode rays. Right, like that they also travel in a straight line. Now the two distinguishing part, in two ways they distinguish from the cathode rays. Firstly, anode rays are the stream of positively charged particles. What we have done, cathode rays are the stream of the negatively charged particles, but anode rays are the stream of positively charged particles. Why? Because they bend towards a negative plate in an electric field. And then next we have learned over here, the particles constituting anode rays, they differ with the gas. They differ with the gas used in the discharge tube. But what we have learned in cathode rays, the particles constituting cathode rays are all alike, and they do not change with the gas of the discharge tube. But here they differ with the gas used in the discharge tube. Now students, we will learn about the discovery of neutrons. So Rutherford, he concluded that virtually all the mass, he concluded that all the mass of the atom, it is concentrated in the nucleus. Now since electrons, they have negligible mass, it was believed that the entire mass of the atom was because of the mass of the protons present in the nucleus. Now Rutherford found that except for the hydrogen atom, the atomic masses of other elements were more than the total mass of the protons present in them. So therefore in 1920, the Rutherford, he discovered another subatomic particle named as a neutron. Right. So he found that it has no electrical charge and has a mass which is approximately to that of the proton. So what are the boys? Actually, this neutron, it has been experimentally observed in a nuclear reaction by James Chadwick in 1932. That you are going to learn in your higher class. Right. So just now we are going to learn the properties of the neutrons. The first property, that it carries no charge, electrically neutral, and the mass is that of the proton. So well students, in my next video I will be explaining you the discovery of the nucleus. Till that time, just go through whatever I have explained you. Just see in your book, go through your book. If there is any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.